Guy, the latest foreign movie to drop on Netflix. It just came out last week on July 23rd, 2021, and I'm going to get right into the review on this movie. Now, first off, there's going to be some minor spoilers, so if you haven't seen this movie, I'm going to tell you right ahead of time, I do recommend it. I'm going to be discussing some pros and some cons. Let's just get right into it. So what is this movie about? I saw the trailer a couple months ago and it looked really interesting. It showed a airplane being taken over by terrorists, a transatlantic flight from Europe to New York City, and a woman and her child were on that plane. She's trying to protect her child, and she is brutally shot by the terrorists. And again, this is all in the trailer, so there's really no spoilers here. At that point, you start to see the trailer twist into vampire mode, where she's actually a vampire. So let's get into it. I was really intrigued by the trailer. I thought, this trailer looks really cool. I can't wait to see this movie. And like I've said in other reviews, many trailers are good, but the movies actually aren't that good. In this case, I can say the movie is that good. Let's get into it. First of all, it's a German film. Dropped on Netflix, as I mentioned, and it's directed by Peter Thorwarth. I don't know anything about this director. He's from Germany, but apparently he's done some really good German films as well. Now, of course, being an international film, there is going to be some dubbing, some subtitles. I will say, sometimes the lips don't match the voice as they're doing the dubbing. I got over that pretty quick because the movie was so intriguing. Let's get into it. So, the cast. The main star of this movie is an actress by the name of Peri Baumeister. She's from Germany as well, and she plays Nadja. And I'll get into that. It's a really intriguing character. We see her with her young son, and they're in an airport setting, and essentially she's trying to take a flight overnight from Europe to New York for some experimental treatment. Looks like cancer treatment. Prior to getting on the plane, she has to take some medication. So you're really kind of intrigued here. I gotta say, the story's original. It really is. I saw the first hour myself. I was running on my treadmill. It's definitely a treadmill movie. Then I sat down with my family and watched from the beginning again. And I will say, there were some scenes I thought, oh, this is going to be predictable. This person might be a terrorist. I was wrong. My family watched it with me and they said, oh, I know that's going to be the terrorist. And they were wrong as well. The storyline is original and it's good. It's not predictable. I will say that right off the bat. It really captured my attention watching this movie. It's a 2-hour movie, but it goes at a good pace. I will say that right now. There's some other good actors in here too, which makes it kind of interesting because half of it's dubbed in German, the other is in English, where we have Graham McTavish, who's one of my favorite actors. He's in the show Outlander. He was in Rambo, aka Rambo 4 with Sylvester Stallone, and was in the first Creed movie with Stallone as well. I think he does a great job here. He's a Scottish actor. And we start off with a really good prologue of basically the plane landing in a certain area. And he's a part of the military entourage there. And that's how often movies will start. They'll start at the end of the movie and then go back and see how they got there. And I like how they did that. The best way of describing this movie would be 30 Days of Night meets Die Hard. It is just so well done in that premise. So we do have some terrorists. They take over the plane. In the trailer, it's not a spoiler. I'm not giving anything away here, but Dominic Purcell, you might know him best from Legends of Tomorrow or Prison Break for that matter. He portrays one of the leaders of this terrorist group. Now, it's in the trailer, so I'm not throwing anything away. So when he speaks, I believe it's in English. So that part's excellent. The plane, the song, the music is really moody. The plane's very claustrophobic, and it gives you that feeling of claustrophobia as well. Being a smaller movie, I gotta say the special effects were up there. They impressed me here. I thought it was really good. And I'm gonna get into the vampire spoiler because that's in the trailer anyways. But the transformation into her as a vampire, it's interesting because she's just not pure evil. In fact, she is more of a heroic vampire, similar to that in the movie Blade with Wesley Snipes from Marvel Comics, The Lost Boys. Jason Patrick's character there, how he fought Kiefer Sutherland in The Lost Boys. It's similar to that. Now, the makeup and special effects for this vampire is actually quite scary. It reminds me of the movie 30 Days a Night, which I really enjoyed. So, showing the vampires as true vampires. That's what I liked about this movie. The terrorists themselves are interesting. I'm not going to give away the major plot here, but I will say how they take over the plane is extremely original and scary because I never even thought of this ploy, the one they use to take over the plane, as well as what their motive is and who they're trying to blame this on is very interesting. And I'll leave it like that. It had me intrigued. I will say this movie is not predictable by any means. There was a few moments in the movie where I said, I bet you this is going to happen, and it didn't happen. I was like, whoa, very unpredictable. The ending is original. It's not a predictable ending that you would assume would happen on this plane. Every moment I watched this movie, I couldn't tell what was going to happen from one moment to the next. I'm going to get into some cons here. I really enjoyed this movie overall, but there are a couple cons I need to discuss. It is going to be a spoiler, but I think it's important I throw this in there because I know that I've watched a few reviews they've mentioned as well as my family watching it were quite disturbed by a scene or two in the movie, and they're basically right at the middle, and it's a couple minutes. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, stop watching my review, watch now. But I think it's important you know this spoiler coming in, so you're prepared for it. There is a scene where she's gravely wounded. She's down in the bottom of the plane, where all the pets are and where all the bags are, etc. And she is dying. She needs blood, essentially. She is a vampire. And we get a shot of two animals, one being a small dog, one being a larger dog. And I appreciate they didn't go into graphic detail, but she does end up having to kill the dog to take the blood. But they don't go into showing it, so you're not kind of grossed out that way. But the whole premise of it is disturbing. But on the other hand, I have to say it's original, it's realistic. They're making this a gritty movie. She really had no choice. She had to do it or she was going to die, and the terrorists had taken over the plane. So she's trying to save her son who's on the plane as well as the other passengers. So it's one of those things, what do you do, right? So they do show that she does kill this dog for the blood. And I will just say another dog is subsequently killed as a result of this. That part to me was disturbing, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. It was just something you need to prepare yourself for halfway through the movie. Again, the way they film it, it doesn't get into grotesque area. You're not really seeing it happen. It's just more the suggestion it's happening. I'll leave it like that. Again, the ending is great. It's original. It's I didn't see this coming. Another thing too is they show the flashbacks about how she became a vampire, and I'll tell you, it's very interesting. And I will say, when you first see another vampire on the screen during her flashback, I actually jumped off the couch. Oh, whoa. It is a pretty scary scene. I'm not going to get into those spoilers. I'm just going to say here, I had a good time watching this movie. It was original. I hadn't seen it before. I can't, when I say 30 Days a Night meets Die Hard, I'm not saying that's a copy by any means. I'm just trying to throw some movies in there to compare it to. But again, it's just extremely original. It hasn't been done before. I can appreciate that. And, in a day and age where you're seeing movies come out left, right, and center, for example, Snake Eyes, I haven't seen that, but the reviews are atrocious on this movie. There's a movie with, millions and millions of dollars on the big screen. This movie should have been on the big screen. This movie should have had a fair chance at the theater, I believe. It's that large of a scale. Similar to the Tomorrow War, I think that should have been on the big screen as well. I did a review on that movie. Just the music, the special effects, the unpredictability of the movie really captured me in this movie. I do recommend this movie. It is entertaining, it's original, has a good score. And also what I like about foreign movies sometimes is you're not familiar with any of the actors. So you really are drawn into that world more. You're not thinking, for example, Tom Cruise, he does a good job. But when you watch Tom Cruise, you can't help but drift off and think about him maybe in Top Gun or Mission Impossible when you're comparing the movie he's currently in. In this movie, I've never seen these actors before, except for Dominic Purcell and McTavish. I've never seen this character before, this actress before, and she does a great job. So I was really enthralled in this movie. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do I give Red Blood Sky? Or, sorry, did I say Red Blood Sky? Blood Red Sky. Sorry, I keep getting it twisted around there. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I recommend this movie. It's just original. The gore factor is there. I will say that now. But we've seen more. We've seen more gore and aliens and stuff like that. It's not. I wouldn't necessarily call this a horror movie per se. It's got elements of drama, mystery, intrigue, horror for sure. You know, the vampires there, but mostly action. It's mostly an action film, and I really enjoyed it. Can they make a sequel to this? I don't know if they can. I don't think they can. But if they did, I'd be interested in seeing it. Anyways, it's on Netflix right now. It's not for small children by any means. I would cancel that out right there. Check out the movie. Come back to my site. Subscribe, like my channel, and tell me what you thought of Blood Red Sky. All right, see you later.